Hello and welcome to the Enterprise Talk Conversation Series, a peer knowledge resource by the CXOs for the CXOs. Now to our host, Kanika Goswami.
Hello and welcome to our podcast On Stage with Enterprise Thought Leaders. Today we have with us Ernst Young. He's a EY Global Technology Industry Lead Analyst. Hi Andrew, how are you doing today? And it's great to have you with us on this podcast today.
I'm great, Kanika. It's great to be with you. Thanks so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. A little bit about Andrew that we know of. His work focuses on creating new insights and driving thought leadership on topics like the emerging platform economy to improve outcomes for clients and across the tech sector. Prior to joining this firm, Andrew was a knowledge director at the GovLab, a leading action research, strategic consulting and training initiatives which were focused on creating societal value using data and technology across sectors. Am I right about that, Andrew?
That's right.
Anything else that you need to add to it about yourself that we may have missed?
No, I think that I've been just focused throughout my career on innovating the way we make decisions and leveraging technology in new ways to create both, institutional and societal value. So excited to talk through some of the recent work on that end.
That's good to know. So a little bit about your organization also. While EY needs no introduction as such, here are a few insights. The company exists by its own confessions to build a better working world, helping create long-term value for people and society, and to build trust in the capital markets. Enabled by data and technology, diverse EY teams in over 150 countries provide trust through assurance and help clients grow, transform, and operate. Did I get that number right, or is it more than 150 now?
I think that's right.
So working across assurance, consulting, law, strategy, tax, and transactions, EY teams ask better questions to find newer answers for the complex issues that are facing our world today. Anything more you want to add to it?
No, I think that's a great encapsulation of what we do.
That's perfect. That's good. So we start with you with the first question, Andrew. And like I said earlier, it's a kind of a formal conversation. So if you think that there is something we may have missed in asking you, please jump in and enlighten us.
Right? Sure.
So why do you think, so first of all, can you explain the platform economy concept and how does it relate to technology for enterprises worldwide?
Sure. So the platform economy refers to the ongoing acceleration of fully connected and integrated digital business models that were built to enable diverse stakeholders to connect and create joint economic value. And there's no one-size-fits-all type of platform or platform business model. Platforms can be B2C and focused on creating new touch points with customers while better connecting them with products and services. Platforms can also facilitate B2B ecosystems in which businesses provide complementary services to enable joint value creation through both collaboration and the good old co-opetition between competitors. But whatever the particular structure or aim, what we found is that platforms can help companies increase their scale, tap into external capacity more effectively, create network effects, optimize their investments, and quickly identify new market opportunities. As it relates to the tech sector, what we've seen over recent years is that platform business models are really taking hold across sectors. But what our research has shown is that platforms are really becoming the standard way of doing business in the tech sector. So obviously there have been large disruptive platform companies for many years. They were the driving force behind the so-called Web 2.0 era that kicked off about 2 decades ago. But what we're seeing now is platform companies are no longer just a subset of the broader tech sector. And to be sure, they were always a hugely influential subset, but a subset nonetheless. Now, on the other hand, we're seeing that platforms are simply becoming the way the sector as a whole operates.
So why do you think companies are choosing to invest in platform models? Now, you told us what it is and what it does. What is the ROI that organizations get after adopting platform models? And why is it more profitable to have a platform model than standalone solutions or whatever? Which subsectors are leading in this adoption?
It's a really important question. And what we've seen is that companies are adopting platform models for a number of reasons. And the rationales that are driving companies to go the platform route really point to continued investment going forward, even in challenging macroeconomic environments. So a big one driving adoption is the so-called keeping up with the Joneses motivation. Half of our survey respondents, and I should say we surveyed 1,000 global tech executives to understand how they're approaching platforms, and half of those respondents said that they adopted a platform model specifically to keep up with their competitors. Half also expect to cut costs and increase their efficiency with a platform approach. And many companies see platforms as a way to build greater connections with their customers. But no surprise, profitable growth is the biggest motivator. We found that 40% of companies have created new lines of business and unlocked new revenue streams thanks to a platform model. And the most common ROI for companies with fully implemented cross-business platform models is around 10 to 14% of their invested capital. Meanwhile, more than a quarter of platform native companies that have always been built around platforms, they didn't adopt it later on, they've reached an ROI greater than 20% of what they put in, fully a quarter of those companies. So these types of results really cut across subsectors. It's important to note, though, that more than half of the companies that we surveyed built their platform model off of an existing product or service. So if companies are interested in potentially pursuing this type of approach, but concerned about initial profitability, what kind of investment upfront needs to happen, there's plenty of evidence showing that it's possible to create these types of returns without creating a platform out of thin air as its own isolated line of business.
And some sectors, we are told, are more advanced in this adoption of the platform journey, as if we can call it that. Which sectors do you think have benefited the most, have adopted the most, and have invested the most in it?
Mm-hmm. So many companies in the internet and social commerce subsector have reached a level of maturity in their platform strategies and or they're examples of those platform native companies that I was talking about that have always operated with that kind of model. Maybe no surprise, they see the largest percentage of their annual revenue coming from their platform offerings, about 60% versus around 40% for the tech sector as a whole. Probably, again, not a huge surprise given the fact that the internet sector really established the current understanding of platforms, like we said, kind of back in that Web 2.0 era in particular. But that said, companies in all subsectors are rapidly accelerating their platform implementation, expansion, and diversification. As it stands, most of the companies we sampled currently have a pilot platform that they're testing out, or a single-use proof of concept that's in place for a discrete business function. Only about 19% of tech companies have a fully implemented platform model that is being used across their business. But 38%, double that current figure, expect to reach that level of full platform implementation within the next year, and 62% expect to do so in the next 3 years. So we're seeing this rapid acceleration and this clear momentum. So while the internet and social sector is leading today, companies focused on hardware, IT services, and other domains are also racing down a similar path.
That's interesting to know. So now that we've established the value that it provides, how are companies deciding to build their platform models? Is it a collaborative approach with other partners or managed service providers, or are they using internal resources? And whatever they are doing, what, in your opinion, is it that they should be doing to get the best benefit and value out of it?
Mm-hmm. So traditionally, partnerships and ecosystem formation have been seen as kind of core to a platform model. And there are many successes over the years that point to the value of a collaborative approach, even when that's collaboration with competitors. But Interestingly, the companies we surveyed have not embraced partnerships as a core element of their platform strategies. Only 1 in 5 companies saw an expansion in their partner and collaborator network thanks to their platform strategy, and only 1 in 4 expects to see that kind of expansion over the next few years. And this, what we're calling a go it alone approach, also extends to the development and ongoing administration of the technology enabling these platform strategies. We found a clear preference for custom built and internally managed platforms over approaches like leveraging third parties, managed services, or open source software. And while I would say this is counterintuitive in some ways, it makes sense that companies are prioritizing their own operations and customers first and foremost. And creating partnerships, especially with competitors, can be difficult and both time and resource intensive. But that said, the juice can certainly be worth the squeeze when it comes to partnerships. EY has done a lot of research showing the value of establishing and orchestrating ecosystems, and I'd argue that more agile and open platforms could help to really unlock companies' tech strategy, help to increase their ROI by better leveraging external capacity rather than just relying on in-house investments, and also enable a type of experimentation beyond what they currently can do to meet evolving customer demands over time.
Another most interesting, entertaining question of all. What role does AI play in a platform economy?
It's the question in some ways of the moment, I would say. And at the end of the day, the AI wave that we're seeing, I would argue, is a platform wave. The companies creating and going to market with these capabilities are taking a platform approach to their work, and the companies leveraging these capabilities are essentially finding ways to integrate external platforms into their operations. So across the tech sector, what we've really seen right now is companies are racing to identify and activate use cases where AI can make a difference, whether it's in the front or the back office. And I think there's a clear recognition among platform companies and aspiring platform companies that AI can revolutionize their business and that there are these incredible new opportunities for them to pursue because AI is in some ways throwing open the door to competition in domains where the leaders versus the also-rans were seemingly somewhat established and settled. And a big part of identifying and activating these AI use cases is going to involve establishing and iterating on a platform and data strategy that allows for experimentation and innovation, but also doesn't introduce an undue level of new risk. And as this AI wave continues to grow and progress, I'd expect the companies that come out on top won't just be the ones that have the best technology, but will actually be the ones that have the best platform models.
This is an extracurricular question. Which other technologies do you think will be forming the basis of, say, advancement or evolution of platform economy,
I
apart
think
from artificial intelligence, as we were discussing it?
Sure. Yeah, I think another big one that we're really, focusing on more and more these days is edge computing, and kind of bringing that compute capacity and decision making and actioning really close to where the data is generated, where the activity is happening, and essentially, getting rid of the latency in both activities and decisions. And I think that similar to AI, we're going to see a real focus on platform approaches to, going to market with edge capabilities, but also platform approaches for how you go about integrating edge capabilities into current operations in different ways.
So I've reached the edge at the end of my questions. If there is something more we need to know or our audiences need to know about the platform, systems or economy, you're welcome to, add some more value to it.
I think that, like I've said, this is a wave that in many ways started 2 decades ago of, really moving toward a platform approach and seeing that value that can be created with a platform model, and we had those huge influential marquee examples. But as I said, what we're really seeing now is this is just the way to operate in the tech sector in a lot of ways. And I think that what we argue in our research and in our thought leadership is that the companies, especially given the AI wave right now, the companies that fail to adopt and implement a really fit for purpose and robust platform model are likely to fall behind, frankly, because their competitors are moving in that direction and seeing very real and very tangible results.
So you would say this is going to be the way of the future, and people just have to adopt it to move forward.
I think that's one way to put it.
Right. Thank you so much, Andrew. Extremely informative, extremely insightful. Thank you so much for your time for speaking with us today.
Thank you, Kanika. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure's all ours. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. Please do follow us on social media for regular updates and new content.